So one more piece I want to talk to you about, this is one of the few cups that you really need to remember in your life in the training business, okay? So Blair talks a lot about this very famous cup, okay? And it can be coffee, it can be tea, it can be matcha, whatsoever. Regardless, there'll be some kind of liquid, you put it in, and this is what we call your content, right? So your content in a business context can be things like your, let me use the color, okay, it can be things like your cash flow, your materials, okay, your training materials, it can be your team, your customer, whatever it is, right? New products, new ideas, everything is in this content. And when it comes to official training programs like ACLP, or all this kind of program, they emphasize a lot on content, structure, methodologies, you know, and okay, cool. With that said, it's very important to get certified, but I think in today's context, when we talk about going out there into the corporate world, those are important, content is very important, but also only because, in my personal belief, they do not understand the importance of a context. So what is the context? So the cup is basically the context, what we call the environment or the surrounding, right? Again, what's inside is just the content. Okay, so a lot of times as a newbie, we tend to focus a lot about, I need to do this, I need to get a good website, I need to do digital marketing, I need to be very famous on social media, I need to get like millions and millions and millions of views, okay? That's not the case if your context is broken, because what if the cup breaks? Okay, what happens if your cups break? All the water is gonna spill out, right? It's all going to be gone, right? So whatever you have built up inside is all going to dissipate, gone, right? So it's really important to build a strong context. Imagine a paper cup and a glass cup, and if I were to put a lighter underneath, right? It's exactly you know what this is all about. So when we talk about context, right? When we talk about the context, we are talking about the your environment. Okay, say a set of rules. Okay, can you see? Okay, let's say a set of code of honor, which we talked about in the previous video. Okay, the code of honor, like what are some of the rules? Oh yes, one more. What else? What are some of your values? So on and so forth. And this is what creates the context, right? And what holds the entire context is your personal, what I call mission. Okay, where is it you want to go? Where is it that you see yourself in the next few months and next few years, which I'm going to talk about in the next presentation. Okay, so when it comes to your content, remember, it is not the content that sells, it's the context, right? It's who I truly am, who I am. What is it that I bring to the table? I am a context itself. What comes out of me is just my content, right? That's why they say people only buy you. Or in order to close the gap, to close the sale, right? Regardless of how good your content is, it's all about you. I gotta tell you one story. Last week, I had a little bit of a question for my friend who was trying to sell her $97 class, right? And her class, again, content was pretty good, right? It has results, it has testimonials, it has many case studies, it's affordable content, right? But I was skeptical because being in this trade for a long period of time, I understood that by joining this class, it might not be the end. It's just the start of something new, right? So I knew that I wanted to continue with her on the, on the other side, but I just wanted to know what was the investment then, because I understood from Larry Gilman what it means to play and be at 100%. So a lot of times, and I fall into this habit, is I take one step in, and then I couldn't continue, and 2 steps back, right? Have you ever encountered a time where you paid for a program, and then after that you want to go to the next level, they'll be like, pay me more money, and then you paid a little bit more, and then after that they'll be like, pay me even more, then I'm like, oh shit, I have not enough money, right? And then you feel so stuck, you feel so lost, you feel like I'm just 1%, the 1% gap I call it. You are just almost there, but you just couldn't. And so to me, I learned my big lesson, which is if I cannot commit all the way through, I wouldn't do it. Because I already have a sense of what the content is, I've been doing it myself. I know that if I were to go through this whole journey with you, I would benefit, but perhaps not at this time. So what I wanted actually from her, which would have resulted in the sale, right? No sale is too big or too small, right? Is I wanted to call her up and say, hey, I wanted to actually find out what is it that, what was this journey like, what was the whole process. Unfortunately, she was busy, she didn't manage to call, send her a voice message because that was my concern, right? And I believe she took it the wrong way, and so we ended the conversation there. But coming back to this, right, context. If she were to call me back or say, hey, I'm busy now, could I give you a call, right? And I asked her these questions, I think I would easily just bought the program. Yeah. So again, that I think was a very good story on content versus context. Sometimes the context is you, and that is something we really emphasize in Dare to Sell, is that if you are not sure of your own context, then this is something that we really want to work on. Okay, so one more thing that I think that might be very useful for you is the framework to actually start to present yourself. How do you get started when you talk to someone? How do you sell yourself in the next 30 seconds or so? Okay, this came from Daniel Presley. He is the author of the book Key Person of Influence, and funny enough, he actually sponsored my event way back, I think in like 2016, 2017. So I have a lot of his books. I gave it out, and now I finally see him on social media for the first time. Amazing, right? So he talks about this thing known as, the first thing is your name, okay? Who are you? Okay, my name is Riley, okay? And then after that, he talks about what would people, not based on what you think, but what people would describe you, what he calls fame, okay? So how would people describe you? Well, when I talk about my work, people talk, oh, you must be like skills future, okay? Or you might be what we call a life coach, okay? Or people might say you are a whatever, okay? It really doesn't matter what you think of yourself, it's what people would associate you with, okay? So same, okay? Now next, when it talks about same, next thing is about, oh, wrong color. Okay, we want to make sure we know what we have to in order to stand out, which is unique. Okay, what's something unique about you? For me, I think what's that word I'm looking for? The ambition, the achievement, the high achiever in me is like, oh my God, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. You know, let's say I've been recognized by the Singapore Books of Record as the youngest trainer at the age of 15, or I was once a pilot. These are all true, by the way. I had a forklift license, and at the same time, I took my bike class 2 license. Whatever it is that kind of makes people remember you. In my business, I mean, this is just for fun, okay? People know me as the Lobang Queen because I have a lot of opportunities and I give them away. I share it online, and people say, hey, you know, do you have this lobang, that lobang? For those who don't know, lobang is like a Singlish or Malay word that stands for like opportunity or resourceful. Yeah, so Lobang Queen. My uniqueness, I think, is that, aside from my hair as well, okay, is that I have a lot of opportunities, I have a lot of knowledge, okay? But again, when it comes to presenting, of course, this is, you know, showing off, right? Is that, hey, my name is Riley. Basically, what I do is I help people get funding using SkillsFuture, turn their programs or business in getting SkillsFuture funding. Some might know me as a life coach. And what's unique about me is that, yeah, I love traveling, I love flying. And, okay, so next, right, is, okay, oh, hold on, wrong color. Okay, name, same, unique. Okay, and then next one is your aim. Okay, so where are you now? And where are you heading? Okay, where are you heading? Okay, in the next 6 months to a year. Okay, and then the last one, of course, is your game. Okay, so what do you intend to do in a couple of years? So this is measured in years, okay, or decades. Okay, and then for your aim, it's measured in months. Okay, weeks. Okay, let's just use months, for example. Okay, so name, save, unique, aim, and game. So this is how I would describe myself. And basically, what I want you to do, if you have the chance, is to think about it. You know, aside from name, I believe you know your name, right? And your pronouns. Okay, is what is something that people will associate you with? Something easy, like life coach. Even though I hate the word life coach, I'm not a coach, right? Or people may say, oh, you're a trainer, right? I mean, like, as much as I hate it or love it or whatever, it's what people associate, and that's really important. It's the same when you want to introduce yourself that you're doing a business. Oh, you know, I basically teach. I'm a teacher. I'm a tuition teacher. I'm a speaker. I'm a trainer, right? These are some terms you can use. Okay, uniqueness, what makes you stand out? Or I study with this person for this amount of time, or it can be a result-driven thing, because this is very personal, not a very good example. But it's like, for example, when I promoted for Tony Robbins, right, I managed to use this, one of the techniques, right, to generate $20,000 in revenue in just a weekend, or in a week, right? How do I do it? That was using the 6C framework, which I covered in the previous video, right? So I think that's really unique, and I'm able to kind of deliver that across the table. Okay, it's duplicatable, it's proven, and I've done it again with my communities such as Game Dates and Trainers Unite. Okay, my aim is to decentralize the SkillsFuture framework, and my game is to really become partners for life, right? I really know that, you know, being in the finance industry, I know that there are products designed for the rich, and if you were to deconstruct it and relook it from a perspective like, if this is how the rich win the game, then this is the game that I want to play. I want to win in the game of life, and that's what I want to do. Okay, something like that. Okay, so with that, maybe like a short 30 seconds will give you, the short 30 seconds will give you an insight into this person's life. You'll be, oh, with your aim and game, this is your, or this would represent the value. And this is something that I think if you can close the gap of what people are looking for, this is how you can provide value for different people.